Yeah, it's the Big Black Richard Show. Where the tacos drop and the hot sauce flow. Three dudes with tools talking shells and cheese. One's large, one's proud, and one's free to be. Yo, Big Black Richard, we the kings of crunch. Gonna give you that spicy talk, hit you with that punch. Reviewing every tortilla, bringing heat and fun. Fat, black, gay, we embrace it all, no shun. That's right.
Welcome to the Big Black Richard.
Big ball.
Welcome to the Big Black
Chocolate
Richard
big cookies.
podcast. Obviously, there's someone missing here.
The black.
He decided to visit his mommy. And so we got tacos from Market Street.
Wow, I didn't get to guess.
Market Street Signature Cafe.
It doesn't say Market Street on there. It says signature. Oh,
Burrito by the pound. But that's the price for 3 burritos.
yeah, honestly, Oh, okay. It does
'Cause
say Market Street.
I
I
got-
wouldn't have guessed if it didn't say Market Street. I probably wouldn't have guessed it was Market Street.
Yeah. But I got 3, but one of them ended up at my house
Oh, I was like, this
for
is
my bride.
your bride. Wait, you're getting remarried?
Ooh.
Wait,
My ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
Watson and Bennett really want me to start referring to Laura as my ex-girlfriend.
That's what Beth and Andrew do.
Yeah. Ooh, she retired, graduated.
After
Push that in the hole, buddy.
I tried and it didn't. Like this, there you go. I wasn't strong.
Yeah, so Beth graduated.
Wait, did she?
She did. She finally graduated. I didn't
Wow.
get an invitation.
Congratulations, Beth. After
I might have.
10 long years of college, you did
Yeah.
it. What did she graduate with?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm not on social media enough to know. Also,
Yeah.
we should only eat half of this burrito because I have a surprise
Okay.
thing as well. Because Richard's not here.
Oh, perfect. Love it.
Yeah, it might be the same temperature as these. When did you get these? Right after the gym?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they'll probably be the same temperature, or my thing is probably the same temperature.
Okay. Is that in that box over there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Did you already see what's in the box?
No.
Okay. What is in this?
Everything.
Oh, that's right. You did say.
So, bacon, egg, potatoes with cheese, mushrooms, pico.
Is there paper towels?
What? Yeah, they're up there in that thing.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Landon. I was gonna get them. Pico.
Yeah, bacon and sausage.
Oh. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
Yeah, these cords just get in the way.
And they're just real squeaky too. Little squeaky bitches. Didn't help that I was stepping on the cord underneath the table.
So as you can see, we're missing someone today.
Yeah. Richard was. He actually
R.I.P.
called-
Richard.
Yeah.
Oh,
He called us from the great beyond. No, he went to go see his mom in another Texas city. I don't know if he cares.
but we didn't want to deprive
you guys.
you guys.
Yeah. So
of
what's gonna happen is
seeing this.
we're gonna not in post Photoshop Richard right here in an ethereal form.
Yeah.
And then we'll just like make him mouth puppet
like the
him.
Skywalker in Star Wars.
Yeah, I love the Lego Star Wars games when they made like Ghost Yoda and Ghost Qui-Gon Jinn, because they're just like, they're still Lego and very visible, but they're just like a light blue hue, and it's so funny. I don't know where to bite this from. It looks like a clubbed foot. It's got fucked up.
I'll say, as far as like consistency and like affordability, this is a great deal. Probably about $6.
We said it was $3 for 4, or $4 for 3 of them.
No, $6 for each.
I could have sworn that bag said $12 on it.
It said 17 something.
Okay. Well, fuck me then.
Okay.
That's really good.
But the lady there makes it with a smile, which is very nice.
Is it always the same lady?
No, not every time, but She's pretty consistently there. Her name is something weird, and I always forget what it is. I might remember it through this at some point.
Yeah. Well, when I got the tacos, I think I got me and Jay some tacos from there, and I had like a full like face mask on because I just got off the bike and it was cold. So she looked very concerned as to why I was talking to her first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Ma'am, I just want 3 tacos." And I'm just polite. I'm like, "Ma'am, can I please have X tacos?" And she's like, "Do you want this?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, please, whatever." And like I could gradually see her demeanor changed throughout me ordering the food. She's like, "Is there anything else?" And then I was like, "No, ma'am, we're good." And then
I pretty much have dealt with, there's a white woman there and a Hispanic woman there.
white woman.
This white woman, her name is Jillry, now that I remember.
Jewelry.
She's always very happy to see me.
Maybe she's hitting on you.
Yeah.
The moment you walk in, she already has like your order ready, even though you're not getting tacos
I'm not
that
consistent enough.
day. You don't know that. Or she doesn't know that.
That's true.
She could be
So
playing hard to get.
one of my friends' birthdays today. Her name is Amy. She'll never watch this.
Which Amy? We know like 4 of them.
She's the Concho Valley Baptist Association secretary.
Okay.
I think her job title is more important than that, but it's her birthday today. But last year she was on Wheel of Fortune, like the legit go to California Wheel of Fortune, and she won a trip to Hawaii. So she is there now
That's amazing.
on her vacation. So
How did that work though? Like how did when she won? Like you should get what's the process that happened afterwards? Like okay, you won.
well, so I don't know if she won, but she won the trip. Like I don't know if she had the winning. I watched it. It aired on the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
I watched it. I can't remember. I think she won the thing, but I don't know how far she got. But she won this trip. And, but she said, at first, they tell you cannot tell anyone that you're going to Wheel of Fortune and that you're going to be on Wheel of Fortune until, it's going to happen. Until everything's shot, everything's done, and you're know your date of your showing, then you can tell people. Kind of sneaky.
Do they say why?
I'm guessing just for privacy or I don't know.
Oh.
But you're just not supposed to tell anybody.
That's fair. I mean, that's I guess smart. So no one tries to kill you or plan on your demise until the episode airs. But what I was always curious about when they did those shows is what happens after you win something. Like you won a car. And it's like, do you give me money to buy the car and then that includes the tax, title, and license and all the other things that come with that? Like, do you just already have a car that's paid off and then you just sign the title in my name? Like, what happens? Like with a trip to Hawaii, or do they already have tickets ready for me to get? Or
I think with anything that you win that's physical, I think I heard this a long time ago, is they make you pay the taxes on it before you can have it. So if it's a big, huge thing that you won, you have to pay the taxes on it. Well, that's why they kind of offset, you win some money, right? Because then you can use that money to offset
I see.
the tax on some of that stuff.
I definitely said eat half of it, but you look like you're really enjoying it.
I'm hungry.
I know.
I'm doing it.
I ate just a little bit over half, or a little under.
A little under half.
I know, but so
I just had a little over half.
I know. It's more like you had 2/3 of it. So I made Jay breakfast this morning.
Ooh.
And it was a burger,
A breakfast burger?
a breakfast burger.
So does it have sausage on it, or does it have...
It's a burger, an egg, and avocado.
Nice.
I didn't want to use bacon because it was going to take too long, and we both have shit to do. So
Yeah.
I was going to cut it also,
Yeah.
But all this cheese on it too.
Ooh.
So what I did is you can have the first bite because I already know what it tastes like.
You don't want to cut it?
With what? Yeah.
You can get a knife.
No, because then one of us has to leave, and then I have to entertain. One of us has to entertain the podcast by ourselves, because we're not going to edit out any.
Yeah, go get a
content.
knife.
No.
I have something to show the people.
Oh fuck me, running. We don't have any knives.
There's definitely a big knife that has watermelon stuff on it.
You're a piece of shit.
So over the weekend, I was scrolling through Peacock, and I'm really excited to co-watch this with my friend here. It's let's see, where's the best? Here we go. So it's a show on Peacock. It's called The American Society of Magical Negroes. A young man is recruited into a secret society of magical black people who dedicate their time to making white people's lives easier. I feel like Keen is already in this because he makes my life so much easier. I said, "Can we please watch this together?" And he then responded with a screenshot. Here. How to Get Away with Murder. So... That will be fun to watch together.
Have you actually seen that show?
No, I think we should watch it together. That's what I was telling people.
It's a decent show.
It has a 63 popcorn score.
How many
and a 26
seasons is
Rotten Tomatoes. It's a movie. 1 hour and 44 minutes long.
There's definitely a show with. Fuck, what is her name?
I'm just telling you. This is streaming only on Peacock. And it's 1 hour and 44 minutes.
Yeah. I didn't know there was a movie. I
I'm
knew there was a show.
a little worried now at this point that if I hit watch now, it's going to go, "Why do you think you're going to watch this?" Like
an FBI agent is just sitting on the other.
Like they're just waiting.
For you to fuck
it's
up.
just because it seems like it seems like a scam. The American Society of Magical Negroes. How is that?
What the fuck are you looking at?
Are you not? Did you not see this screenshot that I sent you?
Oh, yeah, that. Fuck you. I didn't know what the fuck that was about. You're a piece of shit for sending me that.
No, I think we should watch it together and commentate on it like the people do. Mm-hmm. React videos.
Oh, let's just do a watch along
Yeah.
so we can have our episode. How long is it?
1 hour and 44 minutes.
Jesus.
We could play it.
Not right now. We'd have to start with it and then go
Would
on
we?
with it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll just watch it upstairs then.
I mean, we could just do next episode and then Richard will just walk in and be so confused as to what's happening.
Breakfast burger.
Yeah. It would have been better if sometimes I do like a really light layer of like barbecue sauce just to get a little.
You know what would be really
extra.
good? Mayo.
You're disgusting.
Maybe a little salt, but mayo.
So the running joke with that is I hate mayonnaise in every way, shape, or form. I'll eat it if it's already in and or on something I'm about to eat or is prepared. But if I have the option to take it off, I will always opt to take it off because it's gross every single time.
Because you don't like eggs and oil?
I don't like the way it tastes or the consistency of it. It's not good to me.
What if I watered it down,
No.
added little specks of pepper, and called it ranch? Could I trick you?
Like I said, if it's already on the thing and I'm eating it, it's fine. But if I have the option to take it off or exempt it entirely from my meal, I will choose to do so.
Reasonable.
Because spicy mayo is good sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not going to put my fingers in that.
Why not?
I don't feel like it.
Just rub your burrito in it.
Because the next part of this episode is us pulling out our laptops and sitting here.
To be fair, I kind of started with that part.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it for you.
Ooh, yeah. Dip it. Oh, yeah. It's the piece that fell out of my mouth.
Did it really?
What? No. But that'd be pretty funny.
I'm gonna say it wouldn't have made a difference.
So, last week, I found out that San Angelo Studios has been paying for the wrong kind of insurance for the office. So I don't know how insurance works. And I just signed up. I went to someone and I said, I just need this policy, and they signed me up. And I just was like, cool, $300 a year, pay that, walk away. Right? So last week I realized that my insurance for my house and car were going up. Mm-hmm. So I shopped it. We found a better deal with another company on our main two, and I was like, okay, let's just switch all three because this is great. So I canceled the other two as of today, May 13th, when we're filming this.
Okay.
And I canceled the other two, or all three. Well, then my new company was like, hey, actually, we thought that was a different policy because it's a home renting policy. So we thought you were getting a home rental policy. We do cover those, but we don't do business policies. And I was like, that's problematic. So I emailed my old guy, and I'm like, hey, just leave that one going. Can't. Already canceled it. I was like, well, that's stupid. Like 3 days, like within 24 hours of cancellation, 3 days before the actual cancellation, I can't undo that. So I call Safeco, which is the company I was with. And I was like, hey, just want to check, see. And they're like, yeah, we could probably help you. We just have to talk to an underwriter and then go from there. Well, the underwriter comes back to the customer service person, and the customer service person tells me, that was a home rental policy. You are running a business. And I was like, yes. And they go, that's the wrong policy. And I was like, so what's the right policy there? We don't sell those policies. And I was like, okay. Wow. So I called my new guy, and I'm like, and it was one of my students from ASU. He is now an insurance agent. Oh, Parker Compton. He's at Goosehead Insurance. If you're looking for someone who will look at your stuff and reevaluate it, because Parker got my insurance from $425 a month, my auto insurance. I got in a car accident last year, and all the way down to $170 a month, where my old guy was like, sorry, can't adjust. So new guy saves the day, Parker. So if you need him, you can hire him.
Okay.
I think it cost me $80 to hire Parker to be like onboarded to Goosehead Insurance. And then I have to pay my auto insurance and my house insurance. And then Parker said, well, call this guy at Mr. Insurance for your business insurance. And I was like, cool. I type in the phone number, and it's my friend Donnie. So Donnie was in Leadership San Angelo with me. So I called Donnie. I'm like,
he's the guy that shaved, right? Shaved his face?
Maybe.
Like over like the winter break or whatever? Anyway, sorry.
No, that's DC.
Yeah. So
That was different. Wow, that was an interesting splash. I'm glad we got it on camera.
yeah, fuck me.
So Donnie Lunsford, he's at Mr. Insurance, and I told him everything, and then I also told him in the meantime, I had filled out a couple forms online just to see what other co-working spaces are using and stuff. So he said, well, I'll look into it. Well, in the while he was looking into it, I got a quote from someone, and I emailed it to Donnie, and he's like, man, I think you should just go with that. That looks like a great option. So 2 things that were in that policy that were weird was I added $30,000 worth of build out here, but I don't need that insured. Like, that's part of the business or the building now.
Yeah.
And then the business assets of San Angelo Studios, I would guess, are somewhere between somewhere around $50,000. Like, just solid assets like this table and that camera and stuff like that. And I had just overshot it to $100,000 on the online form. And I was like, Donnie, you think I could? He's like, that's reasonable. Like, it's not like you have a lot of stuff. You just have, quite an investment there. If you had to start over, what would it really look like? And what could you, what could you actually account for? Say this building burnt down, right? And so I had to lower it to $50,000, but the initial quote from the other company was $1,800 a year. So I was in the past paying $300 a year.
Yeah.
Then I went at $1,800 a year, which isn't like, it's bigger, but I didn't feel like unreasonable because I was like, well, I'm going to have all these things covered now for sure versus not, which I was just throwing away $300 a month before. And so then I emailed them back and said, lower it, take out the expansion thing, and now tell me what it is. It's like $1,000 a year. So still an increase, but not a not 6 times increase. It's just 3 times increase. And so I am excited to be insured appropriately. Yeah. But I was like, I don't really know what happened there. Like, if there was some miscommunication or something, but the people at Safeco, they seem to think that an underwriter should have looked at that and caught it. That this is a business, not...
Is that the policy you had from the old building too?
Yeah. So like the amount went up when I moved.
Yeah.
When we moved, but it's not like it's I don't know. It's just weird to me, like that got dropped. And I'm glad nothing ever happened. And also knowing the portions of my insurance now and understanding that better, I do have a better grasp on what I'm covered for.
Yeah. Does that now account for the basement project? Or basement projects?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so everything that is mine in this building, in the about 12,000 square feet that we occupy directly, it is good. So we have practically 2 6,000 square foot floors, but we utilize about 3 6,000 square foot floors. We utilize about 70% of those. And so that's how I came up with the 12,000 square feet.
Cool.
So, just to make that work. So went from $300 a year, $1,800 a year to $1,000 a year. So that'll be
review my own insurance policies for everything, especially my motorcycle now.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have the proper credentials,
still,
I need to make an appointment with the DPS now because I was waiting for
again. Did they handle that for you?
Virginia did.
Virginia handled
so
it. You took your test?
Yeah, I took my stupid driving clinic, and then I had to pay the $175 reinstatement fee. And now I need to make an appointment with the DPS to then go get my driver's license renewed.
Yeah.
So that's been something I keep forgetting to do. I mean, it's only been since Friday since I've actually handled it, but she said it'll take up to 72 hours And I was like, well, if I did this right, I think I did it on Wednesday or Thursday. So regardless, it hasn't been a full 72 business day hours, whatever, for them to update that. So I'm probably just make an appointment for tomorrow morning and then go up there and waste my time. And then if it's not done, then I'll just keep doing what I've been doing until I can take the time to go.
Well, I mean, like, when will Virginia notify you when that's updated?
No.
Oh.
No. She said it'll take 72 hours for the national database to be updated with our reinstatement of you.
Are you, just thinking to, like, save you time, are you able to, like, look that up anyway? Or do you have to go there?
Not
or
that I'm aware of. I asked her. She's like, is there any way I can get, like, a tracking on this? She's like, no.
Could you call our DPS and go, hey, before I make this appointment, can you make sure that this has happened? Because
calling the DPS is not a real thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I tried doing that with before I even went to go take the course.
Yeah.
It sent me literally somewhere else.
I wonder if, if you knew a DPS agent or a police officer, you could, like, get them to look it up.
Yeah.
We could ask Orlando.
Would he be able to look up the national drivers
Why not?
database? It's a good question.
I mean,
Fair.
if he might be able to, or Travis might be able to, right? But, like, Travis is local versus. So, did you actually know Angelo State police officers have more authority than city police officers because they're state police officers?
Angelo State's.
Yeah.
Wow.
They have like more authority. Okay. I don't know how that acts out in reality, but the thing is like, for a police officer to chase someone onto the ASU campus, they have to get permission from ASU, from the ASU police department, because it's like, basically, it's kind of like going into the county.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if in practice how that works out. Like, if the city and the campus have like a good working relationship where it's just like, do it, tell us about it after, or if it's no, you got to tell us and we'll handle it.
Yeah,
kind of situation.
I don't know that I've seen like a cop, like a city cop, pull over someone like directly on campus, like in the vicinity, but like just over by the museum they just built. Sometimes someone will be pulled over there by a city cop.
Will it be a city cop or is it an ASU cop?
I've seen a city cop there, but that was before the museum was built. And then another time, I don't know if they stopped doing it entirely, but there was like an alleyway just behind that church across from the CHP. So there's the CHP, across the street is a church, and then across the street again is another church, like right there on the corner.
Yeah.
And then
College Hills, and then there's St. Luke's.
Yeah. But right behind that church was like an alleyway, or like maybe a little bit further down is the alleyway, and there'd be like a motorcycle cop or like a Tahoe cop, whatever, just sitting there waiting as a speed trap.
On Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Because like that would make sense because of the elementary school that's right there.
Yeah.
Like a city cop would be responsible for that little bit of section. But I think on campus there's some like authority stuff. And
let's test it.
Yeah. Let's just go run from a police officer, a city police officer, get onto campus, see if they stop chasing us, see if the campus police officers start chasing us, and then we'll run into the chapel and what's it called? When you're like in a church and you want like immunity. Sanctuary.
Oh. I kept thinking sanction, and I was like, fuck.
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
We just claim sanctuary, run into the general's office and go, sanctuary.
You just run to the president's, ASU president's office.
The general.
Yeah. The general.
That's
go to the general and save some time. Oh, but going back to my motorcycle issue. So I've had to do this a couple of times, but I had to pay to the reinstatement fee over the phone because I couldn't answer my fucking security questions to get into an online portal for my Virginia account.
Right, because they were questions very specific to your life in Virginia.
Yeah, and I haven't been there in like almost 8 years, and it was actually funny. I went and grabbed some old like game magazines from my mom's house the other day, and on it was my old Virginia street address. And I was like, oh, fuck. Well, anyway, but so I had to pay online. And then the lady asked me, she's like, are you going to pay online? I was like, yes, that's why I called. We'll be right in this conversation. She's like, are you going to do card, cash, credit, check? I was like, what a card.
How was I going to do cash through the phone?
Don't know. And then I was like, card. And she's like, is the card in your name? And I was like, yeah. Fuck.
David Roberts.
And I was like, no, it's not. She's like, okay. Is the person there with you? And then I was like, yes. So I'm talking how I'm talking now, and I'm like,
Please.
I'm like, okay. Let me go and hand it over to Joaquin. And so I'm quiet for like a second because I'm trying to gather my fucking thoughts and composure and try to figure out how I'm going to change my voice to make it seem like I'm a different person. So in my most piss poor Texan accent, I said, morning, sweetheart. She was like, hello, sir. I was like, are we ready to do this? She's like, yeah, just read me the numbers. So I'm fucking. Oh no. She said, what's your name? I said, Jaqueen Palacios, because I couldn't say Joaquin Palacios in a fucking Texan accent. So I was like, Jaqueen Palacios.
You can't, can you?
No, no, you can't. Joaquin Palacio. No, Jaqueen. So I put.
We're gonna get Trey Holmes to say your full name.
Because he just calls me Keen. But I was like, yeah, Jaqueen Palacios. And she's like, can you spell that? And I was like, yes, ma'am. Jaquuie. And like the whole fucking thing. She's like, all right, you read me the numbers? I'm like, sure can. Read the numbers. CVE and then...
what are those numbers?
I don't know off the top of my head. So it wouldn't even matter. But yeah, security code, fucking the whatever number. And then... she's like, all right, it went through. I was like, damn right it did. And she was silent for a second because I don't know if she was like trying to holding her laughter or just like trying to figure out the fuck's going on. And then she's like, all right, well, he's good. And then she's like, well, I'm not really sure who I'm talking to now. And I was like, fuck, did she see through my ruse? And she's like, well, he's good to go. And I was like, thanks, ma'am. I'll ask him if he needs anything else from you. And so I was like put the phone like a little bit away from me to sound like I was talking away. I was like, hey, you need anything else from her? And then I was like whispering. I was like, no, I'm okay. She's like, no, sweetheart, he's good. You have yourself a good day now. She's
wow.
She's like, all right, bye. So I've had to do that.
So you're telling me you pulled an Ed Chambers.
Yeah. So I've had to do that 3 times at least now.
For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Silicon Valley fan.
Yeah.
And this is literally what Jared does in Silicon Valley.
Still on hold. With Microsoft Azure. Yeah, I'm trying to negotiate a lower cloud storage rate because we're going to need it if, or more realistically when, Richard finally decides to pay that patent troll. I'm still on hold. It's like they don't even care about small businesses. Jared, they don't care about small businesses. That's why small businesses have to lie. Like Google named their first building 40 so that people would think they were already huge. When I worked at my first startup, I would transfer people to my supervisor, and then I'd just get back on the phone myself. Yeah, hello. No, I'm not going to go on hold again. In fact, could I transfer you to my supervisor? Oh, no, I have to take a shit. Just, do your best Ed Chan impression. One moment, please. What's up? You got Ed Chambers. Jared done?
That's literally what the fuck I did.
Just a moment, please. I'll transfer you. Go for Chambers.
Go for Chambers.
Ned, I knew it was you. Hey, did that pussy Jared keep you on hold long? I eat that motherfucker's lunch every day. No, man, I literally eat his food. What do you want? Ain't gonna happen. That's as high as we go, homo. Till next time, Rook. Did you see that? He's amazing. Who? Ed Chambers. He got Pied Piper a great cloud storage rate from Azure. And he's got the hookup on a couple of pallets of Pamplemousse LaCroix at, his words, an amazeballs price. Wow, good job, Jared. Well, don't congratulate me. Congratulate Ed Chambers. Ed Chambers is you. I wish. But speaking of Richard, I need to tell you something. I had to let Ed Chambers go. Who? My fictional supervisor. He bragged to a sales rep at LaCroix about doing it to Sonia Sotomayor, so Ed is no longer with us.
I'm sure we can manage. He also was never actually with us.
Right.
Because he was never real.
Out of sight, out of mind.
And out of reality.
Yeah, well. Oh, Ed Chambers.
Fuck, I love that show. That's
Me
what we
too.
should. That's what we should watch. Just
Okay.
to watch along all day about that.
So, but about Silicon Valley, so probably my 3 favorite shows that are business focused are Silicon Valley, Billions, and The Office, right? So I was working with ChatGPT last night because I've always used clips from those shows in my class at ASU. Well, one of the things is like I rewatch those shows on a regular basis, so I'm able to catch them. Well, The Office is a little bit harder because it's just like so much there. So, luckily, Landon is a humongous
Pussy. I'm just kidding.
Office fan, and so is my pastor, Ryan. And so Ryan will like use Office illustrations in his sermons. But so knowing that I have those 2 people to like help me pick out scenes is helpful.
Sure.
And then also knowing that I'm pretty solid on Silicon Valley and Billions to be able to pull content from there. But I was like, how can I make that better? I was like, well, AI obviously can make everything better. So my thought was ask AI for the scenes that relate to these things. Okay. Well, I had written out next year's like lesson plan on the board, and Tyler took a picture of it and texted it to me.
Oh yeah.
Well, the image, like it was really like if you're looking at it, it was like really cockeyed like that, and it wasn't even a super in focus image. So I just uploaded that to chat and I was like, hey, can you read this? And it did. No problem. So my handwriting, good. But then I said, can you find me sections of Silicon Valley that talk about this? One of the sections. And it came back with a couple options, but I knew a better one. So it's like, well, if I know better than chat, that's not helpful.
Sure.
Because if I'm having to correct chat. So then I came up with this idea. I was like, wait, what about if I had the scripts of these episodes? Because it wasn't able to pull direct quotes from the show because it doesn't have access to that. I said, if I uploaded the entire script of Billions, Silicon Valley, and The Office, could you evaluate them in better than just knowing what kind of happens in each episode?
Sure.
And it said, yeah, it could do that. And the limitation on uploads is 512 megabyte uploads, which an entire book is like 2 megabytes.
Yeah, a lot of words.
So, like, all I have to do is combine a PDF. And so I'm just going to take one PDF of every single episode of all 3 of those shows, put it all in one PDF and say, here's the script for the entire series of The Office. And that way it can like have that as knowledge, and then it can help me find like basic points like in episode 3, season 2, episode 3, this happens, and like this is what you should show. And it will go all the way. It won't do timestamps because I'm not uploading a video.
Okay.
But it will do like this on this page of the PDF, and then I can easily find that clip. Then I go clip it out, and then I'm going to save those in their own like specific folder. Like, so every segment of my class will have these pop culture references.
That's fine.
But it was great. Like, I think it will be awesome because the scene that I was talking about with Silicon Valley, I was able to just pull that. I knew what it was in the very first episode, the quote, but it wasn't figuring out that quote. So I just took that one transcript and dumped it in, and it found it. It was like, oh, here's the quote.
So is it the scripts? Are they like before production scripts? Or
No,
are they like
I think they're
pulled directly from each episode?
I think pulled because I think this is an offshoot website that's just doing it. I don't know how that works, what gets submitted or published or anything like that, but it's a website called Springfield. And
Great name.
Well, it was originally for
The Simpsons?
The Simpsons, yeah.
Was it really?
And so, yeah, so it's called Springfield, and it, this one.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
And literally you can just type in whatever show you want. So like
The Simpsons.
Simpson. Well, give me something. What's your favorite TV show?
Breaking Bad.
So Breaking Bad.
Jeep Wrangler.
Every what?
Jeep Wrangler. That's ad you got. Every what?
Every time you click on something, an ad pops up. So that's how they're getting income. But look, there's all 5 seasons. Okay. So which one am I on right now? I'm on season 3. Let's say 1 minute. Okay. And so here's the entire script.
Jesus.
So you would think it would be more.
Yeah.
But like really, and yeah, so like what's cool about it is I have this software called SiteSucker that you can tell it like, go here, download this page and all the sub pages under it. Okay. So now I just go in here, give it this link right here and say, suck up everything after like that this is linked to. So it'll get all of these episodes.
And then everything else too.
And then, well, it will try to do something with these ads.
Okay.
But it will get all the episodes and all the transcripts. And then I can just combine those into one PDF with all of it. And then
Interesting.
and then upload it straight. Like I don't even have to. It's not copy paste. It's just upload the PDF and it will read it, and then it will help me find
Those pop culture references.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
so for the 3 shows, they're all 3 on here. But it's 3. It says it has 6,365 TV shows cataloged on here, and the episodes 143,688 episodes,
On what? Oh, just total.
like of everything.
Oh.
And it even has, I think it has movies too. What was it called?
What was what called?
The American Society
Oh, we live in a society. We live in a society.
of Magical Negroes. Search. Let's see.
You're literally the worst person ever.
Their search engine sucks. Ooh. Well, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'm just not using it properly. Nope.
Just type in magical.
It just sucks.
How many movies are named magical or have magical in the name?
That's true.
Michael Myers just requested to connect to me on fucking LinkedIn.
No, it just says Magical Land of Oz. That's the only one.
The Michael Myers.
No way. That guy looks like a pedophile.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. He might be your new boss or something. The American Society.
He works for San Angelo to go.
Well, he needs a new profile picture. Okay? Okay, here's the script.
I think he applied for the ASU job.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that profile picture either, buddy. You gotta fix that. But that's cool. But you can just do that and have a nice thing to use for all your classes. Do you think any of them
Yeah.
are they gonna be explicit? Like explicitly obvious references?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's not going to be a forced thing, it's if Billions doesn't have something about one of those items, like then I'll just skip it and go to another one. But I've always kind of wanted to have my class laid out that way. Okay. Where it's like it's almost like scheduled in chunks. Where it's like we do this for this time and this for this time and this for this time. And so I had my students like give me feedback this year. And I always have them give me feedback, but we set aside a good portion of time to reinvent this class. And one of the things that they said was just this year, everybody got their own company to represent. Next year, it will be like a team of 4, and they'll have a company to represent in each of those positions. So one thing that's really interesting to me is everything education is limited to the educator. Okay? So up until now, if you wanted to write a project that was specific to each student, that would take a lot of work as an instructor or a professor or whatever. But with the advent of AI, I can cater questions to each student.
Okay.
Because I'm able to kind of say, these are the kinds of questions that I'm going to ask. Here, this company, or this group, so I'm imagining 3 groups. I don't know what the enrollment is yet. But if it's 3 groups of 4 each, that's 12 students. That's what needs to happen. If there's more than that, we'll just either integrate them into one of those or make their own separate group. But what will happen is, in the past, it was everybody got their own company and everybody could only do like surface level research. Well, this coming semester, it will be each of the 4 will get their own company. So I'm going to try to make them 3 very different companies. So I'm not going to do like, kind of the idea would be one will be a tech firm, one will be something else, and one will be retail.
Okay.
So like then under that, I'll be able to say, well, here are the 3 tech firms you can pick from. You can pick Apple,
Okay. That was going to be my question.
Microsoft, Amazon. Those 3. For retail, you can pick Walmart, Target, something else, Home Depot. So something like big brick and mortar company. And then the third group will pick something else. Well, maybe it's a financial company or
Bank.
it could be that. It could be a big, it could say Chase, right? Like Chase, JP Morgan Chase. Here are 3 styles of that. So whether it's JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, or I don't know, JP Morgan Chase is a bank. It could be a national credit union like USAA, or it could be something else. Like
Loan Shark.
Just depending on what that group wants to pick, right?
Yeah.
And then, so now inside that group, so say there's a group that's going to represent Apple, okay? In that group, you're able to take all 4 of those students and say, you're the CEO, you're the CTO, you're the COO, and you're the CFO. So when like every week, you're going to have a report. It's going to have this like front page memo. and you're going to have 3 reports or 4 reports, one from each major department. And maybe what I do is say none of them are the CEO. I'm the CEO. So these are reports that are going to be given to me as the CEO of your company, evaluating the situation, whatever the situation is. But what I'm able to do then is craft questions directly to the CFO of Apple, right? So like, instead of trying to generalize my questions to work for all 3, I can just say, these are the questions that I need to ask. Chat, can you specifically make Apple ones, specifically make Walmart ones, and specifically make JP Morgan Chase ones, right? So like now I'm kind of asking different crafted questions for every student in the room.
Okay.
Right? So like every student in the room gets a different set of questions. So there's no like overstepping. There's no, you didn't do your part of the project and now I'm going to get in trouble about it. No, because if that part of the project's not there, that was all on you.
Sure.
Right?
That's good.
So they work as a group. There will be a person that has to compile it, and they will get like, I don't know how that's going to work, if it'll be extra credit or if it'll be something, but someone will write the memo, compile it, and submit it. But I think instead of having every, like, try to blanket question everything, I can be really specific to that person and that homework and that group.
And it encourages them to actually do work separate from one another and actually research.
Yeah. And they're going to have to plan together.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have their documentation needs to sit down and point at the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Are they going to be required to format it a certain way?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will give formatting examples. Like, this is how it needs to look. And part of that is the other side that makes teaching not difficult, but like just the challenge of grading everybody's stuff, right? And so I have formatted things for my class before that make it easy for me to grade. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I typically do is I'll read the memo, and that memo should have the main points for all 3 of those other, or all 4 of those other papers, right? You should write the memo after. And then what I do is I go down and I go, that sounds right, that sounds right, that sounds right, done. Homework's finished. Or I go, that doesn't sound right. So I turn to that page and read it and go, okay, cool, that makes sense. So you've basically like given me the first line of defense to your memo. So the memo is the thing that I grade. There will be, the formatted memo will be like very specifically formatted so that there's a summary statement from each of those 3. Just take that, read it, 100, 100, 100, cool. Not good, not good, not good. Then I read the rest and look at it all. So that way I save like a lot of time reading.
Sure.
And a lot of times in the real world, the details, like the 2nd, 3rd, 5th page aren't read. It's that front page that says, this is what's included in this packet. Here's all our research, right? And nobody looks at all the research unless there's a question.
Yeah.
Then you go, that doesn't seem right. Then you look. So
it's an interesting way to look at it.
So if they don't submit that part, like there'll be a note on the memo. It'll say the CTO did not submit this part.
Supporting documents.
And then I'm able to just go, oh, CTO gets a 0 for today.
Cool.
So I'm going to have that. That's how all their homeworks are going to be, basically. It's just like projects like that. Some of them will be like just hard line. Most of them will be hard line. Here's the paper. You're going to write a memo, 4 pages. That's it. Some of them will be more of a presentation. So it's like, don't worry about, like, I need you to write the memo but don't worry about the other 4 pages. You're going to come up and present
Okay.
in person.
So that they'll do like PowerPoints and stuff
Yeah.
too. It's part of it. It's interesting.
And then the other thing, so like there's some video watching, there's some discussion, if there's a presentation, something else that's going to be good, I think, is so historically, when you have a class, you get assigned a book, right? Everybody reads the same book. I assigned 3 books so the old book that I used to use was $80. The new 3 books that I use cost the students $30, like altogether, if they buy them just off Amazon. So trying to save them money. Well, with that, everybody comes to class having read the same material. Okay. So this semester, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 9 different books.
Okay.
You have to read 2 of them. So you can choose the 2 that you want to read.
But
Now, they don't get to ahead of time choose. They're going to choose in class, and there's going to be limited spots. So like, if there's 9 students, if there's 12 students, everybody has to read 1, and then somebody can double up on some. But what will happen then is, instead of coming to class and saying, what was the most interesting thing you read in this book? And you tell me, and it's the same for everybody, right? Now I can say, today we're talking about labor unions. What did your book talk about labor unions about? Right? So every book, so again, a limitation to a teacher is I would have to have read every book that I'm going to assign.
yeah.
The cool thing is, with AI, I can say, give me 9 books that will talk about the majority of these topics. Then I assign those to them. Then I say, which chapters apply to which thing? Okay?
I see.
So then I'm able to say, do not read this book in order. Like, do not read this book in chapter order. I want you to read, and I'll have a spreadsheet, and it'll say, for these 9 books, for week number 1, you need to have read this chapter, this chapter, this chapter for every book. For week 2, this is the chapter. For week 3, this is the chapter. And so every student will probably have to read 2 of the books, but then they all come together at the table, because we do it at a long table. Like, it's this table, but like
Super long.
super long.
Yeah, across the whole class.
And so we now tell me something interesting that you learned, right, about labor unions in your book. And everybody has a place to talk now. Now, will there be chunks of the class where it says labor unions, book number 3, didn't have anything about it. You don't have to read that week.
Yeah.
Easy.
So is it going to be the movie situation where you need to find the full script of that book to then have ChatGPT?
Conveniently, the books are easier for chat to talk about and recommend.
Okay.
It's able to pull the table of contents. And so we'll be able to, because I want these students to learn something, it doesn't have to be perfect. So even if I give them a chapter of a book and say, this chapter talks about labor unions, and they're like, well, it did in this little tiny section of that chapter. But
Sure.
What else did you learn? What else did you learn in that chapter? Tell us about it. On the labor union side, it's like, tell us what you learned about labor unions. Well, only a sentence in there about it. Okay, tell us about it. Good. I'm glad you found the sentence. And with 12 students talking about what they learned, that's a easy 25-minute chunk of the class. Yeah. So instead of 3 people talking, one about each book, and everybody else going, that's the same thing I thought. It takes away the out. They're all responsible for what they do.
I see.
What I'm going to have I'm going to have every class. I've been trying to figure out like I'm going to go to the instructional designer, Jason Brown, at ASU. He's been my friend for a long time. But I'm going to go to him and talk about how do I take some of these ideas and like put them into Blackboard. But the basic part of this is every week I'm going to hand out a sheet of paper, and I would like to do this online because then it's easier to submit. But basically,
Discussion board.
So class participation is not mandatory. However, this form will be mandatory. Okay, so it may be best to have it handwritten, right?
Yeah.
So like, fill out this form, and in this form, it's going to say, what was the most interesting thing you read in one of the books? Just write a sentence about it. What was each chunk of my class, you will fill in the blank, right? You remember we used to do the one-on-one forms? So it's kind of like that, right? It was like, so everybody turns that in at the end of class. I know who was there.
Yeah.
I know who paid attention. I know that everybody came prepared. And like, this will be a form that you could literally fill out in the first 5 minutes of class because you know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
And then maybe there's a chunk of it at the end that's like, write the most interesting thing you heard today in class or
in class.
Or like, so it would be just different blocks. And in my class, there's going to follow these blocks. And it'll say like, what are you going to talk about? And then what's the most interesting thing that someone else said? So now you get 5 minutes at the beginning of class to fill this out, the 5 blocks of what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I'm prepared. Because if not, then I come to you and you're not prepared. It's very easy to know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not
Because
prepared.
you're not just
So
reading off a piece of paper.
then they can write in the most interesting thing that they learned or whatever in each section from the other students. And then at the end of the day, they just turn it in. And I know that they participated, that they were engaged, that they did everything that they were supposed to. That's worth, half of what your homework is usually worth.
Okay.
So like your homework is the main thing, the big, like that'll be 100 points. And your in-class thing is 50 points. So making that like where it's imperative that you are in class, but also giving the leeway of like, well, as long as you do every single homework, you'll guarantee yourself a C. If you're in class every day, you can get yourself an A.
Yeah.
But like working out those details would be something I think.
I
would
mean,
be
it already
helpful.
sounds like you've got it pretty all meshed out. Like
Yeah.
it looks like it will be probably your most interactive class yet.
Yeah.
'Cause you've only been doing this for 4 years.
Right. And it's just like sometimes it's boring and sometimes it's not fun. And so one of the deals was it's really easy for me in the last few weeks of the semester that I don't like talking about those topics to be like, oh, it's raining outside, cancel class. Like I didn't do that, but I did. I was told it was raining harder than it was. ASU alert went out.
Yeah.
And my students asked to cancel class. So I was like, sure. But it's easy to do that when the topic is something I hate
Sure.
or I don't care about talking about.
Yeah.
So I reevaluated each topic. I pulled in a bunch of them to like, because I find myself corporate sustainability and another topic, like they made sense more together
Okay.
than as individual classes, because I would like talk about this and I go, and we'll talk more about this when we talk about corporate social responsibility. Well, why? Let's just talk about it now. So what I did was, I think it's a 14-week semester. I think semester is 16 weeks. You've got a final, so knock that off. I don't do that. So that's 15. You got an intro, that's 14 weeks. Knock that off. There's 14 weeks. There's 4 months in the semester. There's 4 business at happy hours throughout the semester that I have my students attend. Yeah. Those are through the chamber. And so that knocks it down to 10 segments. So I have to write 10 segments of class. Each of those 4 happy hours will have their own separate assignment that kind of talks about like something that they could learn at one of those events.
Yeah, I remember the one that you brought them at in Compass Health.
Yeah. So, and then we have a local issue kind of idea, and that local issue could be brought up from one of the business at happy hours, or what one of my students suggested was a lot of us have jobs, and I went to one of the graduations this weekend, and
not my wife's.
In General Hawkins, he asked students that had to work to get through college, and they stood up, and it was like a huge chunk of them. So I get that I was blessed to not have to work. I ended up getting a job like my junior year. I was the student body president, so it was a job. And then after that, I worked for IT and residential programs, but like I did not have to do that. My parents did not require me to do that.
Lucky.
But
white privilege.
Yeah. And so my brother, on the other hand, he has 2 jobs, but he also has a truck that costs more monthly than my first vehicle cost in a year. So,
yeah. Well, you back in your day,
the back of my day. So I think like with each of those chunks of my class, I will be able to not stand up and lecture for 2.5 hours, which is, I don't know if that's the expectation for me. I think some professors do that. Some professors can get up and lecture for 2 hours, and that's great. But I know very little.
Clearly.
And one of the cool things about the book situation is I'm going to get these students to read 9 different books for me. Right? They're going to be giving me
essentially
the most important pieces of information from each book. So now it's like, oh, this is why this is helpful.
So you're learning from the students.
So I'm learning from the students. And that's how I'm going to pitch that part of it. Okay. Like as they talk about their book that they read, like I don't just want you to read a quote from your book, because if you just do that, that is unhelpful. I can flip open your book and read something.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me about it because I need to know.
Okay.
So it's interesting. So I think these different segments will definitely help me be more consistent. Yeah. And then I think I'm going to segment out the last 30 minutes of the class so that the students that cannot get together with their fellow students outside of that time, it will basically be like, hey, for 30 minutes, you can work on this. You can work out how these things are going to happen and what things need to be talked about. And then that assignment, right, is like somebody will have to take charge, and that person can be one of the randomly one of them throughout the semester. But like one of them takes charge and has to say, this is the direction we're going. All 4 papers need to aim at that. Like all from a financial standpoint, from an operations standpoint, from a business standpoint, like from a marketing standpoint, like then they're able to do that. So I will say, you are welcome to do this now during these 30 minutes. That's why I segmented it out for you. Mm-hmm. If you choose to get together as a class or as a team at another time, you're welcome to. But that way, I'm not leeching into the rest of their week as far as like where they have to get together with their fellow students. Because I feel like that was one of the that's been one of the problems in the past with group work that my students told me about. They said,
Because different schedules and stuff.
yeah, everybody has a different schedule. And especially the students that are taking my class, like they're taking it at night for a reason. I mean, it's the only time it's offered, but
Yeah.
they're opting to take this elective instead of a during the day elective because schedule or family or whatever reason they choose.
Yeah.
And then now I'll give them an opportunity to work on the thing. They still have to I mean, you think when you're working on a document, you still have to get it back to one person, but then that one person is responsible
Yeah.
for that group project.
Yeah. Group projects suck.
Yeah. So I'm trying to make a group project split up as much as I can to even it out so that you can't just get dumped all the work on one student.
Yeah. Well, you just have all of your work dumped on you. All of the shit you do and then the shit I do will be completely different.
Yeah.
But as long as I get my stuff done, then it doesn't really impede yours.
Yeah. Yeah. No one's waiting on all of them
Outside of putting it all together.
outside of that person. And that person can say, I need this by 5 p.m. on Sunday. My class is on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
So they can say, I need this by 5 p.m. on this day. And as long as they've communicated that in a verifiable way, which means it could be a screenshot from a text message, it could be an email with all those people CC'd on it. If you're in a group and you're submitting it all to Mia, and Mia said 5 p.m. Sunday, I need it, and you turn it in 6 p.m. on Monday night, Mia can just include the screenshot of that conversation with her little summary from, your CTO, right? So it says the CTO did not submit their presentation by 5 p.m. on Sunday, and then they attach that notification that said, this is when I told them to. Then they can wash their hands of it.
Sure.
They just put that screenshot in place of that project or that page in the project so that when I read it, I go, oh, that person's out, whatever. And then that person can come back around to me and say, well, my grandma died and I didn't get to it and I submitted it on Monday at 6. Then I can either decide to sideload that and say, it is done, no big deal.
Sure.
Or I could say, well, I'll give you half credit or whatever, but it won't affect that person.
Yeah, but the students can also communicate that to each other too.
Yeah.
So that could also he didn't submit it at this deadline, but then also because of this reason, so that you don't have to wait.
Well, and when I just don't want someone to feel like at 4 o'clock on Tuesday, 2 hours before my class, they suddenly got this email from the late person and they're like, oh, I have to put it into the project.
Yeah,
they still can't. They can.
Yeah.
They absolutely can if they want. But to hold people to some responsibility, they don't have to.
Yeah. Jade ran into that a lot with her last group project.
Yeah.
So
Where somebody else didn't finish everything.
Yeah, they wanted to change stuff
Yeah.
literally the night before the assignment was due.
Yeah.
Or
No.
the night of the assignment being due.
Because if it were me, and in that example, if I were Mia, in that example, is if I said it was due at 5 p.m. on Sunday, 5 p.m. on Sunday, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to finish it, submit it at 6 p.m. on Sunday. Yeah. And then it's done. Then it's submitted. Mm-hmm. Well, then Monday morning rolls around. Oh, man, I forgot to give you this. Here it is. And you go, email it to Seth or submit it to Seth separately. I already submitted it.
Yeah, because some things that other people in group projects, especially students, don't understand is that everyone has lives, different lives in different situations. So if majority is in agreement of something and you can't meet that, then you're kind of at the whim of the group.
Yeah.
But
and I think maybe while I'm writing that policy, it's the earliest you can set this date is, or this time is 5 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay.
So that way they can't go, well, I'm really I'm really a studious student, so I'm going to work on this on Wednesday. So you better have your project done on Wednesday. Well, that's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So like somebody could be a dictator about it. So if I say like, you need to have this to your administrator for this project 5 p.m. on Sunday. I mean, I could even just set it
Sure.
5 p.m. on Sunday so that they have 2 days to submit it. I mean, I could even make it where it's like required to be 5 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah. Or
But
between
I don't want to micromanage either.
between 5 p.m. on Sunday and then I wouldn't even say 8 a.m. on Tuesday. I would just say you have between Sunday and Monday to submit.
Well, what I was going to say
compile
is
everything.
like you guys as a class, as a group, whoever the admin person is this week gets to decide when it's due. It cannot be due any sooner than 5 p.m. on Sunday. Because then they can work it out. I don't care if that person's like, get it to me by 3 p.m. on Tuesday, right before the class, I'll have it done. That's on them.
Sure.
But that way they just don't back it up too early and go, well. And then also they'll be able to choose who the administrator is for each.
Oh, like a vote?
It will not be predetermined. So for every week, for every week that you have to be the administrator at least X number of times. So if I have 10 weeks and there's 4 students, you have to be the administrator 2 times. Whoever's the administrator the 9th and 10th time will get extra credit. So put somebody that needs the extra credit in those spots if you want, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to start to look at how to grade things and how to be even and equal and all that.
Rounding people's grades, doing curves and shit.
One of my students,
Just
Cole.
more water in your cup.
yeah, I know. Do you have any more?
It's out. I drank a lot of it.
One of my
Thirsty
students,
boy.
Cole, he graduated on Saturday, and took a picture with him.
Yeah, but not my wife.
Yeah, you're right. I apologize to her. But I went and took a picture with him, and afterwards I had checked my ASU email, and he had sent me an email a couple days ago. I never checked my ASU email. That was like, hey, I noticed that this one project didn't have a grade on it. Would you be able to update that before submitting grades? And I had already submitted grades. He got a B in the class. Good job. But I was like, oh crap, I'm going to have to do a grade change form and all this stuff. Cause if he earned the A, let me give him the A.
Yeah.
Well, I went back in and I was like, wait, before I worry about any of this other stuff. And I went in and changed it to perfect score on that project, and still was a B. So I just emailed him. I was like, hey man, just so you know, even if I gave you the highest grade on that, it wouldn't have changed your letter. And so he said he appreciated it, and he said he'll never forget my class. Good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
fucking shit on you in the IDA survey.
then I got to figure that out. How do I even look at it? Do you know?
I know. I think they get emailed.
So it's nice to hear things like that, like I'll never forget your class or whatever. But I also I don't invite any of my students to Whiskey Collective unless they graduate. Right.
Sure.
So Cole, I invited him to Whiskey Collective because what's funny is his girlfriend is one of Tyler's best friends. So it's both of them.
Tyler has friends?
Weird, right? I think it's
weird.
the ones she pays for.
Oh, okay. That makes sense then.
So
She's got a lot of those then.
She sent me something that said, so here's Cole and his girlfriend. She graduated also, but not at the same time. Okay.
Is that the picture that you posted on Facebook?
Maybe. Why isn't it focusing? It sees your face.
Yeah.
Okay.
It focused real good on that website picture you had earlier. Or that website.
Whatever. So, but she's been here to take photos for San Angelo Studios in the past. But I invited him, and so hopefully they show up.
That'd be cool.
But there was also
Take your time, Pastor.
Another student who graduated messaged me, and I've never, besides from you, I don't think, have ever been invited to the strip club before. But I got a message from one of my students that invited me to the strip club on Saturday night, like at midnight or 1 a.m. or something.
That's when they messaged you?
Yeah. And I was like, well, glad I didn't see this. Also wouldn't have gone. But like, I was just like, yeah, I'm going to have to I screenshot it, save it to the folder. And just on the last day, I'm going to have to post hey, love you guys. I'm glad we had a good time. I'm happy to be your friend out in the real world. In the future, if we happen to cross paths, but also please don't invite me to the strip club while you're drunk after graduation.
That's funny.
So I very much was happy about that.
You didn't go?
No. It was 5 a.m. by the time I got the text message. I figured they weren't out there anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
But so something
there's pool
that
tables.
I'm really excited about is one of my students, Jenny. She got
Fuck when?
Yeah. She graduated, but she's going to be shadowing Anna Reina. So she'll be around here. But I texted Flor Leos. She was the one that had to read all the names for graduation. She does such a really good job on all the Hispanic and all the international names. And she's like, David Roberts. She does really bad on the really white names. Adam Carlson.
Yeah.
And it's just really
Yeah, I'm trying to turn it off.
they're really pretty. Her voice is so pretty. And she says with such elegance all of the international names. So I'm glad she's doing that because they're the ones that get screwed out of stuff in the future, screwed out of that usually. Yeah. And so it's William Jackson, and just she struggles to turn off the flowery Hispanic
Turn off
voice.
the floor.
And I love it. But I texted her, I said, you did good today. There are some seriously hard names out there. And I sent her, I said, fuck win, which is Jenny's name, but it's really Fu Win, right? It's not, there's not a hard C. It's not a hard F. But when you look at it, it's fuck win.
Yeah.
And so there's this other one too. Let's see, will it focus on it though? Ooh. So we've got fuck win and thin cock win. And I know that's wrong. I know it's wrong. But she did it. And it definitely I'm sorry
So good.
that
Thin cock
languages do this to people.
On purpose.
It's not on purpose though. It can't possibly be.
I think it's super.
But I love it.
Thin cock win.
So
Thin cock win.
yeah, it's the only time you could say that word and
Thin cock win at your service.
and not be in trouble, so
I mean, wait, cock or win?
win? I don't know.
When the cock is thin.
Ooh. So
is that it?
yeah, unless I was just telling stories
I
because
know.
we were here, but I thought we were going to work, but we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't. I did have something to end on. I was trying to figure out how to fucking
Work it in?
yeah, basically, or how I wanted to structure it. But what do you call a potato in your underwear? A dictator.
Wow. Wow.
You said dictator earlier, and
And it just popped in?
It completely derailed everything
nice.
else I had going on in my mind. It was like dictator just in there. And it's like,
Nice.
how do you structure that as a joke? And I couldn't find a good way.
Can I end the Big Black Richard podcast with a joke?
Yeah, the Big Black Podcast.
Oh, is it just
It still says Richard.
it's Richard, but he's missing.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my finger over it.
So this guy, he is really excited. He's gonna ask his girlfriend to go to prom with him. So he goes down to the flower shop and waits in line, in the flower line. And it's just like a really long line. So he's waiting in this line. Finally gets up and gets the flowers, and he's like, "Well, I want to get a poster that says, 'Will you go to prom with me?'" So he went down to the store and he waited in the checkout line. And he gets to the front of the checkout line and pays for his stuff and makes the thing and does everything, you know. So he goes to wash his car, and he gets in the car wash line, and takes about 20 minutes. He gets through finally. He goes to this girl's house, and she says yes. So now he's like, I got to get ready, and so he goes and waits in the tuxedo line at the store,
Okay.
and he's doing really good.
I hate your joke, by the way, already.
What?
I said I hate your joke already.
And he gets to pick her up, goes to the prom, and they wait in the ticket line, and they get in there dancing, having a good time, and they even did the cha-cha, you know, this is the cha-cha line. And so finally she's like, "Hey, I am thirsty." And he walks over, and there's no punchline.
Three amigos, Taco Kings, yeah, that's the pitch.
Big Black Richard.
The mood is rich. One is hefty, one's got flair.
One is bold with style to spare.